Picture this. You're driving down a lonely highway at midnight when your car suddenly breaks down. Through the darkness, you spot the warm glow of an old gas station just ahead. A kind, elderly man helps you with your car, you fill up your tank, and drive away grateful. But when you return the next morning to thank him, all you find are charred ruins and ash. Because that gas station burned to the ground in 1984, and no one has operated it since. This isn't just another ghost story. This is one of the most documented paranormal phenomena in modern history. And what makes it truly terrifying is that it keeps happening to different people in different places, following the exact same pattern. Today, we're diving deep into the mystery of phantom gas stations and the disturbing truth behind these impossible encounters. Before we start, I need to warn you that what you're about to hear will change how you see those late-night drives forever. And if you've ever had your own strange encounter at a gas station, you're definitely going to want to stick around until the end, because we're going to reveal why these places might actually be more common than anyone realizes. The phenomenon typically begins the same way every single time. Someone is driving late at night, usually on a rural highway or back road. Their car breaks down or runs out of gas, leaving them stranded in what feels like the middle of nowhere. Just when panic starts to set in, they notice lights in the distance. Not the harsh fluorescent glow of a modern station, but the softer, warmer light of an older establishment. As they approach, they see what appears to be a perfectly normal gas station from decades past. The pumps are older models, the building has that vintage charm, and there's usually an elderly attendant who seems genuinely eager to help. This isn't some creepy horror movie scenario where everything feels wrong from the start. Witnesses consistently describe feeling relief and gratitude. The attendant is friendly, professional, and helpful. The gas pumps work perfectly. Money is exchanged, services are provided, and the stranded driver continues on their journey. But here's where things get absolutely chilling. When these same people return to the location during daylight hours, whether it's later that same day or weeks later out of curiosity, they find nothing but ruins. Not an abandoned gas station that's seen better days, but complete destruction. Burned foundations, scattered debris, maybe a few concrete pads where pumps once stood. And when they investigate further, they discover that the station was destroyed years or even decades ago in a fire or other disaster.
The most famous case comes from the American Southwest, where multiple travelers over the years have reported being helped at what they believed was an active gas station on a remote stretch of highway. Each person described the same elderly man with kind eyes and weathered hands who would appear whenever someone was in genuine need. He never spoke much, just nodded, filled their tank, and waved them on their way. But county records show that particular station burned down in 1984, and the owner, matching the description witnesses gave, died in that very fire while trying to save his business. What makes this case particularly compelling is the physical evidence. People who visited the phantom station found valid receipts in their pockets afterward. Receipts dated on the night of their visit, printed on paper that matched the old station's original design, complete with the correct logo and address. Their gas gauges showed full tanks. Their problems were genuinely solved, yet the location itself remained nothing but ash and memory. Similar reports have surfaced across the globe. In rural England, drivers speak of a charming countryside petrol station that appears during heavy fog, staffed by a woman in a floral dress who died in the 1960s. In Australia, travelers describe finding help at a station that was demolished to make way for a highway expansion 30 years ago. The details change, but the core experience remains hauntingly consistent. Skeptics, of course, have explanations. They suggest these people simply found a different station and became confused about the location in their distressed state. They point to the psychological effects of stress, fatigue, and relief, creating false memories. But this theory falls apart when confronted with the specificity of the descriptions and the physical evidence left behind. One particularly unsettling aspect is how these encounters seem to happen only to people who are in genuine need. It's never joyriders or curious ghost hunters who report these experiences. It's always someone who is truly stranded, often in potentially dangerous situations. A young mother with a broken-down car and a sick child in the back seat. An elderly man who ran out of gas on a cold winter night. A college student whose car died miles from the nearest town. This selective helping behavior suggests something far more complex than random paranormal activity. It implies purpose, intelligence, and compassion that transcends death. These aren't malevolent spirits trying to trick or harm people. They appeared to be the remnants of individuals who were so dedicated to helping travelers that they continue their service even after death.
But perhaps the most disturbing element of these stories is what happens to people who try to investigate further. Several researchers and journalists who have attempted to document these phenomena report their own strange experiences. Cameras malfunction at crucial moments. Digital recordings develop unexplained static. GPS systems lead them in circles. It's as if whatever force creates these phantom stations doesn't want to be studied or exposed. One investigative team claims to have staked out a known phantom station location for 3 consecutive nights. On the 3rd night, their equipment detected electromagnetic anomalies consistent with the reported sighting times, but their cameras captured nothing. However, their gas canisters, which they had deliberately emptied as a test, were found full the next morning. No explanation has ever been provided for this incident. The question that haunts everyone who studies this phenomenon is simple. How is this possible? How can something that was destroyed decades ago continue to provide real, tangible help to people in need? The physical evidence makes it impossible to dismiss as mere hallucination or false memory. People receive actual fuel, actual mechanical help, actual salvation from potentially life-threatening situations. Some theorists suggest these locations exist in a kind of temporal bubble, where the traumatic event that destroyed them created a crack in reality itself. Others propose that the strong emotional attachment of the owners to their businesses somehow imprinted their essence onto the location, allowing them to continue operating in times of genuine emergency. What we do know is that these encounters continue to this day. Just last month, a family driving through Montana reported being helped at a station that burned down in 2003. The experience was identical to all the others. Breakdown, lights in the distance, helpful attendant, successful repair, and morning discovery of ruins. If you're planning any long drives, especially on rural roads at night, keep this in mind. If your car breaks down and you see lights in the distance, don't be afraid to investigate. These phantom stations seem to exist solely to help people in genuine need. But don't expect to find them when you return. Some mysteries are meant to remain unsolved, continuing their silent service from beyond the veil of our understanding. The next time you pass a ruined gas station, remember that somewhere between our world and whatever comes next, the dedication to help stranded travelers burns eternal. The story may be over, but the whispers continue. Subscribe for the next tale.